Well, like if you can just find a way to get a win on your home court, you can really get this thing going in the right direction again.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the last game we just played, I think we came out very aggressive. We showed what type of team we can be. We just got to come out like that again tonight, and I think for sure we get a win.
You feel like you guys are kind of getting close to turning the corner?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we stand together in the locker room, just trying to figure out ways to get a win and what we need to do. But like I said, last game I felt like everybody's energy was high. And I felt like we do that tonight on the home court, we can get a win.
When you look at Minnesota, what kind of challenges do they bring?
It's going to come down to ISOs and us just playing defense man-to-man. They got a lot of one-on-one guys. Teague can go at any time. Wiggins, and of course Jimmy Butler in town. So we got to just match up with them one-on-one and rebound the ball.
Can steady progress?
Yeah, I think so. You look back at that second half of that Cleveland game, and there was a ton of positive things. There was a bunch of growth from different individuals. You look at the Drew, for example. Drew didn't play the entire first half, came in the second half and gave us a big boost. So as long as we keep taking those small steps, again, when you're digging out of a hole, you don't just jump out, right? You keep climbing, you keep digging, and you slowly work yourself out, and we're heading in the right direction.
You gave up one offensive rebound against Cleveland, just one, and in the last three, out-rebounded the opponent twice in those three. Do you feel like you're getting more contributions from everybody that's on the floor?
Yeah, I think so. And that's one of the things that we've made a point is it's difficult if you just depend on one or two guys to defensive rebound. The way these guys are, they crash from all over the place now. And, you got to put bodies on people. Teams are taking a lot more threes. So when they take long threes, there's a lot more long rebounds. So now the smalls have to contribute and come up with those long rebounds. So we've made a conscious effort to do that. And I think, again, we've seen progress there.
T-Wolves tonight, they get a lot of offensive rebounds, don't shoot a lot of threes, almost opposite of that. But what's key against them tonight?
Well, like limiting them to one possession, to one shot per possession is huge. Defending their ISOs, right? They've got some very talented one-on-one players with Towns and Butler and Wiggins and those guys. They get them the ball in their spots and let them go to work. So not only taking challenges one-on-one, but as a team being there to support the guy who's defending the ball, and then putting a body on somebody and coming up with the rebound.
You talk about digging out of a hole, just the importance, if you can just find a way to get a win on your home court to really get this thing kind of going in the right direction again.
Yeah, because moral victories only last so long. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we're here for wins and losses, and we need to get a win. To be honest with you, guys, believe in what's going on and what's happening, and but at the end of the day, if you keep losing, guys will get discouraged. So we need to win a ball game.
Is it amazing to you how in the NBA how much things change? I mean, the Minnesota's coming to town, and almost nobody on that team, and you were there for 4 years. Yeah,
I was trying to think if anybody was there when I was there. Greg Farnham, I think, is the only one still there. But it's especially in a league now, where the draft is so important, and so many teams are kind of going through this youth movement. I think you've seen that with Minnesota. I think they've done a great job of getting picks and then drafting well with those picks. And, the decisions they've made lately to add a couple of veterans has been helpful.
I'm from Minnesota. Coming from Minnesota, we kind of follow you because you have so many roots there, really college started. How tough has this been for you to go through this a second time? I mean, it's never easy to be an interim coach to begin with, but to replace a friend, how difficult has that been for you?
It's been real tough. Most people know by now, like Fizz and I go back to when I was 17 years old. He was in my wedding, but the thing about it has been fortunate for me is he's been super supportive. And we haven't had to go through any awkward moments where, he was upset or, whatever it may have been. Is the first thing out of his mouth was, "Now go do a good job." So that makes it easier, obviously. But, you have your emotions that are involved in it. You have feelings that we came here to do something together. Didn't come here to do something alone. So you go through that emotion, but you understand that you have a responsibility to these guys that are out here on the court, to the organization, and to the fans. And it's one of the messages that Fizz always says is, it's bigger than me. right? It's bigger than us. We'll always be thinking outward instead of inward, and that's the position we're in.
Having been through this before, what do you take from the first experience?
Just taking things in small steps. You're not going to change things overnight. Schemes, you need to pay more attention to the small things. How do you, take small gains? Because if you do continue to take small gains, by the end of it, those small gains become huge gains, and it pays off for you in the win-loss column.
In Houston, you took over a really tough situation. You got them into the playoffs. I think you kind of started the whole culture down there of spreading things out and shooting the three. But as an interim coach, it's always hard because you never know exactly what your future is going to be. How does that affect what you do on a day-to-day basis?
Can't let it. Again, it's not whatever happens, will happen. The job that we as a staff do will show at the end of the year, and you either deserve a job or you don't. And that's part of this business. So the most important thing is doing what's best for this team and the organization. And you sacrifice whatever you have to do, but you can't go into it with a selfish mindset. It's not about me getting a job or whatever. It's about trying to get this group to have as much fun as they can and reach their potential.